Welcome back, friends. We are learning to be Yitzchak Arama, the Akedat Yitzchak on Parashat Vayigash. We have a small, short session today, and we'll be analyzing Yosef revealing himself, his true identity, to the brothers. Now, we'll see that Rashi understands the intention and the purpose and the motivation of Yosef at this point for one reason, and Targum Onkelos understands it for a completely different reason, and that's how Rabbi Yitzchak Arama explains it and elaborates on it. But we'll see the Pesukim in which he identifies himself, Velo Yachol Yosef Litapek. Yosef is not able to lehit apek. What that means is the basis of the machloket for Rashi and Onkelos. The chol hanitzavim alav in front of all the people in front of him. Vayikra hotziu kol ish me'alai, and he yells, "Everyone, get out of here!" V'lo amad ish ito bidvaday Yosef elechav, and no one was there while Yosef reveals himself to the brothers. Vayitenet kolo b'fchi v'yishmu mitzrayim v'yishma beit paro, and Yosef yells out a big cry. Vayomer Yosef elechav, and Yosef, he tells them, "I'm Yosef ha'od avichai," asks if his father is alive. They're not able to answer him because they are so shocked. Now Rashi, on the word lehit apek, understands this as Yosef is now ready to reveal himself in front of the brothers. But he doesn't want to do it in front of everyone. Why? He doesn't want to reveal his identity and to embarrass the brothers and to shock the brothers in front of all the Egyptians. He doesn't want to air out the dirty laundry in front of everyone. Therefore, he tells all the Egyptians to leave. And once they're gone, then he cries to the brothers and reveals himself. Intentionally, that's his plan at this point to do so. He doesn't want to embarrass the brothers, and that's why he tells everyone to leave. Targum Onkelos says as follows: Litapek means to contain himself, meaning that at this point, Yosef wasn't necessarily ready to reveal himself in front of the brothers. But at this point, he is so emotional that he can't control himself anymore, and therefore, he says to everyone, leave, so that he could start crying. And Targum Onkelos, this is how he explains it. Rabbi Yitzchak Arama describes how this isn't the first time that this is happening. In fact, there are two prior times in which Yosef gets so emotional and is able to isolate himself and cry privately. In Perek Membet, in last week's parasha, when Reuven is basically saying how wrong it was what they did to their brother Yosef. I told you not to do this to the kid. And you basically essentially killed him. And look, this is what's happening to us. And Yosef understands what they're saying, but they don't know that Yosef understands. So Yosef goes and isolates himself, goes privately and cries. He cries privately. He composes himself again and then goes out to the brothers and is able to keep up with the facade of him being this distant ruler. The second time this happens is when he first sees Binyamin. Binyamin, Achiv, Ben Imo, the son of his mother. And that's when Yosef is so emotional. He has so much compassion for his brother. He wants to cry. He goes into a separate private room. No one knows that Yosef is crying. And so much so, he has to wash his face. Now he's able to compose himself. He's able to contain himself. And then he continues with this facade of who he really is pretending to be. Now, the third time, Rabbi Yitzchak Arama explains he can't do this. He wants to continue on pretending to be this distant person, not the brother but he's not able to do it anymore. Why? There's so many people in the palace at that time that they're in front of him, they're in back of him, panim ve'achor. So he has no room that's private available for him to cry. So he yells out, Hotziu kol ish me'alai. He says, everyone leave, so he could find a private place to be able to cry. But at this point, it's so emotional. And by the time everyone leaves, he's not able to contain himself because of the emotional situation in our parasha. Yehuda is approaching him and begging for Binyamin and to save him. And this is very emotional to Yosef because he sees how much love there is amongst the brothers for each other and that they really did teshuvah. He has to yell and call out. Now, at this point, the Egyptians had left, but he doesn't have the opportunity to get to a private location to be able to cry. And once he starts crying and it's in front of the brothers and he wasn't able to do it privately, Then he says, the jig is up. Ani Yosef ha'od avichai, and he reveals himself to the brothers. This was not planned. This was not Yosef's intention to reveal himself at this moment, but because so many people were there, and by the time they leave, now he's already starting to cry, and it's in front of the brothers, and that's why he reveals himself as the brother, as Yosef, and that's where the brothers start to come together at the end of the story. Thank you very much for joining us on our study of Rabbi Yitzchak Arama on the parasha. Join us for the last parasha in Sefer Bereshit, Parashat Vayigash, as we continue learning the Akedat Yitzchak. Have a great day.